Shadowmoon Valley was a picturesque moor bathed in the eternal darkness of Draenor's twin moons. The ethereal glow cast by the moons bestowed a soothing bluish tint upon the entire region, reflected in the vibrant flora that thrived there. Centuries before the First War, the orcs migrated from Gorgrond and settled in this area, forming the Shadowmoon clan and embracing the valley as their home. Here, they delved into the mysteries of the cosmos, charting the stars and honing their shamanistic and runic magic. However, the tranquility of Shadowmoon Valley was shattered when the Draenei crash-landed on Draenor, and within their ship was carrying the injured Naru known as Kara. In its final moments, Kara urged the Draenei to release it from the vessel, thus becoming the Dark Star, a source of shadowy power feared by the orcs. The ancient chieftain of the Shadowmoon clan, recognizing the dangers of the void, outlawed its influence after the discovery of the Dark Star. The Draenei, on the other hand, established their sacred temple of Kerebor on the valley's coast, making Shadowmoon Valley the spiritual heart of their society. With the arrival of the Burning Legion and the corruption of Gul'dan and Ner'zhul changed everything. The orcs, under demonic influence, turned aggressive and mercilessly attacked the Draenei settlements, including Shadowmoon Valley. With the aid of void and fell magic, the united orcish horde ravaged Draenor, and Gul'dan raised a fell-tainted volcano in the heart of the valley known as the Hand of Gul'dan, severing the orcs' connection to the elements. The horde then set their sights on the Temple of Kerebor, where the Shadow Council summoned the Dark Naru Kara, unleashing a devastating column of void energy that warped the temple structure and claimed countless lives. In the aftermath, the horde easily dispatched the remaining Draenei, and the site was transformed into the Black Temple, serving as the stronghold of the Shadow Council. The once lush valley succumbed to the influence of the Fell, its landscape blackened and obscured by perpetual haze by black and green smoke. Rivers of green lava and tainted water now mar the desolate wasteland that was once Shadowmoon Valley's vibrant beauty. Even after Illidan's death and the return of the temple to the Draenei under Akama, it seems unlikely that Shadowmoon will ever regain its former beauty. It remains a grim reminder of the destructive power of the Burning Legion. However, the valley still holds remnants of the lunar energies that once graced Draenor before its destruction. During the invasion of Draenor, the Shadowmoon clan utilized the Black Temple as their fortified stronghold. After Draenor's cataclysmic destruction and transformation into Outland, the Burning Legion seized control of the temple. It became a crucial base for the Legion's operations in their campaign against Draenor. Following his escape to Outland, Illidan overthrew the ruling pit lord Magtheridon and claimed the Black Temple as his own. After his defeat at the hands of Arthas Menethil, Illidan returned to the temple, haunted by his failure and consumed by thoughts of revenge. From within the Black Temple, Illidan tightened his grip on Outland, awaiting any challengers to his rule. The Black Temple faced a siege by the Shatar forces led by High General Aurelion, but they were ultimately defeated by Valzarak, the conqueror of the Crimson Sigil, and their leader was captured. The Burning Legion also unleashed the Fell Reaver Doomwalker on the temple, further adding to its defenses. In a later assault, the combined forces of the Scryers and Aldor, along with the Illidari rebel Akama and Mayav Shadowsong, launched an attack on the Black Temple. Their goal was to overthrow Illidan and bring an end to his reign of terror. Now, to close out the video, I did want to mention a few areas inside Shadowmoon Valley that I think are good to know. There really wasn't much with deep lore or anything like that, but I grabbed a few that I think people might be interested to know about. So for starters, Wildhammer Stronghold was founded by Kurdran Wildhammer, who was one of the survivors of the original Alliance expedition. Next up is the Shadowmoon Village. A village emerged as a relatively recent addition to the landscape. This was quite unusual, as the Orcish Shadowmoon clan had always preferred to reside in their ancestral settlements of Shazgul and Anguish Fortress. During the dark times of the Draenei genocide, this area was nothing more than a humble grove adorned with a handful of Shadowmoon pillars. It was 2 years after the conclusion of the Second War when Terran Gorefiend, Gaz Soulripper, and their fellow Death Knights made their grand entrance into the village. Initially, Ner'zhul, the Elder Shaman, was hesitant to receive any visitors, forcing the invaders to eliminate several guards before finally gaining an audience with them. In the days that followed, Terran Gorefiend performed some mysterious act upon the village's inhabitants, forever binding their spirits to this place. When the new horde arrived during their invasion of Outland, they quickly realized the village was haunted and wasted no time in their efforts to eradicate these lingering spirits. Now we move over to the Warden's Cage. This is where Warden Maiev Shadowsong was held prisoner by broken servitors, led by Akama himself, after Maiev fell for a trap set by Illidan. If I remember correctly, in the Illidan novel, Akama and Maiev team up to take down Illidan, but Akama betrays her to Illidan, believing that he will keep to his word and return the Black Temple to Akama and his people. That's a very Cliff Notes version of it, but I could be wrong on that that's the reason that he ends up betraying her to Illidan. But Maiev ended up getting captured and held in the Warden's cage. Now with that Cliff Notes version, I could be wrong on a couple things. Maybe that's not exactly the reason that he ended up going back on his word to Maiev. But if that is the case, just let me know down below. It'd be appreciated. In the west of Shadowmoon Valley lies Legion Hold. It stands as the primary stronghold of the Burning Legion, ruled by the formidable Deathbringer Jovan, a commanding Minari Eridar. The Hold serves as a hub for the Legion's operations. From this base, Jovan receives his orders from his superior Eridar commander, communicated through a state-of-the-art hologram device. The sprawling complex acts as a colossal factory, churning out an army of Fel Reavers and Infernals, bolstering the Legion's forces in Outlands. Within its walls, one can find a mix of loyal Fel Orcs, Doom Guards, Moarg Engineers, Shivara, and a multitude of fearsome Fel Reavers and Infernals. Notably, Legion Hold is also home to the powerful Pit Lords, Makazradon and Morgroron, as well as the enigmatic Shivara Prophetess Kavrlin. It is within these sinister walls that the legendary Fel Reaver, a fearsome creation of unparalleled might, was brought into existence. Now I want to talk about the Hand of Gul'dan. It's quite pivotal to a few things, so let's just talk about it for a little bit. Now the mountain pays homage to Gul'dan, obviously. He played a pivotal role in aiding Medivh in actually opening the Dark Portal, and according to the Earthen Ring, Gul'dan himself raised this volcano by severing the connection between the Orcish people and the elemental spirits of Draenor, using the powerful words of the Cipher of Damnation. These words were employed against Suruka, the Fire Lord, resulting in the creation of the volcano. As a result, the Hand of Gul'dan now stands as a dominant feature in the valley's landscape. Interestingly, it is revealed that the volcano had always existed, and the spell that severed the connection to the elements also transformed the volcano into a Fel-infused entity. The significant event is repeatedly depicted in a vision of the Altar of Damnation, which can be found near the Fel Pits on the western face of the volcano. In an alternate version of Shadowmoon, Gul'dan also attempted to create a similar volcano, but his plans were thwarted. Now, as you may or may not know, the Draenor that we go and visit in Warlords of Draenor isn't a one-to-one recreation of how Azeroth came to be. So certain things that happened on WoD that we visit didn't happen originally. And so with all that said and done, hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned a little something about Shadowmoon and Black Temple and such. I personally enjoyed doing all this, and I look forward to doing many others. And if you made it this far, consider subscribing, all that YouTube stuff, and keep your head up. You're doing great. Keep going. Eventually, things will work out for you.